Hello, friends and or foes, and welcome back. Today we'll be reading a one-shot from a different fandom than usual. I hope that's okay. It's a K-pop Demon Hunters fic titled Hiding and Harming by Fin15. It's only one chapter and has just over 1,000 words. Also, slight trigger warning for blood and injury. And with all that out of the way, here's a summary. She had seen it before. Bobby, the security guards, even her own face, standing on stage with Rumi and Zoey. Rumi wasn't Rumi. Mira refused to believe it. Now, let's get into the fic. Mira wondered how long Rumi had been lying. The past few weeks had been filled with hints that something was wrong, but she couldn't figure it out. Now it was all too obvious. She had seen it before. Bobby, the security guards, even her own face standing on stage with Rumi and Zoey. Except it wasn't Rumi and Zoey. Zoey was right beside her, and Rumi was missing. Mira's heart lurched as she thought of how long it could have been since Rumi's voice had started to fade. Since it was healed suddenly despite Mira seeing the box full of unopened tonics, or maybe even much longer. Her breathing quickened as she thought of the real Rumi, who could be trapped somewhere, scared and alone. She had been gone for days or possibly weeks, and Mira hadn't noticed. She refused to consider the possibility that Rumi could be gone for good. The fake Rumi ran from the stage. She and Zoey glanced at each other, then also ran, going around to cut the fake off. They stopped when they saw her. No, it, running down the steps. It asked them a question, stepping forward, but Mira couldn't hear it over the ringing in her ears. Zoey asked how it had patterns. Mira knew, but she didn't say anything. She wanted to hear the demon's excuse. These were supposed to be gone. You were never supposed to see. A non-answer, and an admission to hiding, to lying to them. You were hiding this from us this whole time? It made her feel sick that she didn't know how long this whole time was. The fake could have replaced Rumi at any time, and Mira hadn't noticed. Mira, the expert at reading people, hadn't noticed that a demon had taken the place of one of the few people closest to her, one of her family. Rumi said something. Zoey responded. Mira didn't listen. She was trapped in her head, going over the past weeks. Suddenly, everything that had happened the past couple of weeks had snapped into place. When Rumi cheered Jinu on at the signing, subtly pushing the fans towards the Saja boys, when she faltered on the train, distracting Mira and Zoey long enough for the train passengers to get killed, when she had talked to a demon on a hunt, whispering secrets, but not attacking. Mira's mind screeched to a halt. There was one detail she hadn't thought about yet. Last night, when they sat together and talked, finally let their faults and fears be seen, Rumi had said she would go to the bathhouse with them. A simple commitment on the surface of it, but so much deeper for them. For them, it felt like a promise from Rumi to break her walls down, the walls that Mira had tried and failed to get past in the last couple of weeks. And it was a lie from someone who wasn't even Rumi, someone who could never keep her word because she wasn't real. I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true. Mira, no, didn't you see the gold? We're so close. Mira began to back away. Zoey followed. No, don't leave. Don't leave. I can still fix it. Mira saw the shimmer of pink, the shimmer that had always indicated the presence of demons. She reacted how she had been taught to. Rumi fell to the ground, bleeding. Everything is wrong. Demons don't fall. Demons don't bleed. Demons shatter to dust the moment the Honmun's weapons pierce skin. Rumi isn't a demon. Not fully, at least. Mira didn't understand. She couldn't. There was no precedent for this. No explanation that was anywhere in the realm of what she knew about demons, about Rumi, about anything. She didn't need to understand, because Rumi was on the ground, gasping and crying. Her blood, red blood, human blood, spread from the hole in her torso and stained the edge of Mira's gakdo. Mira thinks she might throw up, might start sobbing, might snap her weapon in half and vow never to raise it again, just so she didn't have to see the blood dripping from its glowing edge. Rumi's blood. Zoey had already run forward, dropping to her knees and putting her hands on the bleeding wound. Rumi cried out at the pressure and dug purple-tipped claws into Zoey's arm. Zoey didn't even flinch. Mira did. Her brain was being split in half between hating Rumi and wanting Rumi, and fearing Rumi and loving Rumi. She wanted to grab Rumi and hold her close, but she didn't know if it was to comfort her or to pull her away from Zoey. Mira froze. Zoey was speaking. Mira couldn't hear her. She was breathing too much and not enough. Everything was out of focus. Something hit Mira in the face, snapping her out of it. Zoey's jacket fell to the ground. "Go get the first aid kit!" Everything went from being blurry and distant to being too sharp, too close. Her body moved without her input. She ran to their green room and grabbed the first aid kit, ran back to Rumi, kneeled, opened it, took out bandages, disinfectant, scissors, needle thread. She patched the wound to the best of her ability. It took a single second and a million years. When she was done, she checked Rumi's pulse and breathing. It wasn't steady, but it was there. That was enough for now. Mira had a million questions. They all rushed her mind, none able to make their way out through the crowd. But her mind cleared instantly when Rumi gasped. Rumi was weak, too weak for Mira's comfort, but neither her nor Zoey stopped Rumi when she tried to stand. Instead, they helped her up, knowing she wouldn't take no for an answer. "We have to stop Guima." Mira and Zoey glanced at each other. They wanted to protest, but they didn't. They went to the tower where the Saja boys had begun their summoning ritual. They sang. They fought. Mira and Zoey protected Rumi, staying by her side the whole time. They won. Somehow. By some miracle and a sacrifice from Jinu, they defeated Guima and created a new Honmon. Rumi collapsed on stage. Mira and Zoey carried her home. So that's the end of that fic. I'm not going to lie, that fic made me feel like I cried the first time I read it. Because Jesus, I don't know. But yeah, no, I loved that fic. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I hope it's okay that I did a different fandom. Just K-pop Demon Hunters has been consuming my entire being. I don't know. So, I guess that's the end of that. I will see you guys next time. And peace out.